And we're live. Hello, everyone. This is Ninja DC, joining again for another React. Actually, it is a React this time. Join me in this slightly smaller group this time is Jenn.
I may be first, I may be last, I may be a little sleepy, but I can't wait to react to this. But I'm first, and always, Jen. Ugh, excuse me. Hello, everybody.
Next up, Carlos.
I'm just currently right now chomping at the bit, but I'm your ever so lovely Gunmetal Gator, also known as the former user Unova. How do you do on this fine evening, chaps?
Oh, glad there's another Monday in the books, honestly.
Yeah, Monday. I'm not just thinking about Easter weekend as sort of like a big emotional crippling crisis moment for two main heroines right now or anything like that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God. Like, one thing first. We gave them some pretty touchy subjects when it comes to the series that used to be that okay, Ruby. Ruby has sort of came into the forefront in a horrifying way recently.
Oh?
Like, let's just say after 9 seasons of just wanting to see like any sort of breaks in the kink of like Ruby or like any sort of like interaction she could have with like certain characters that she doesn't do,
Mm-hmm.
and then missed opportunities leading to like they're just feeling like less poignant and such. Ruby's like decline in season 9 has sort of led to possibly one of the darkest episodes I've ever seen for the show.
Wow.
The groaning season 6 episode 4, I mean, about like the hollow,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of features a lot of implications of deleting yourself.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, doing it just for the sake of the video, keeping itself up, and the fact that like it literally became, at first it became like such a bully scenario of like haunting illusions from the cotton candy colored like Neo, like
Mm-hmm.
haunting Ruby just in order to get her to basically be like, well, take this drink, and then soon you'll be broken down to itty bitty pieces, not even recognizable to your loved ones ever again. Because like in the season, they're literally in a wonderland of sorts,
Wow.
and like the thing that she's forcing her to drink is literally the a part of a tree that basically reforms like creatures in the wonderland,
Mm-hmm.
uh making them again into like a reborn without memories or anything of the sort.
Wow.
And like the same could be said for any real people. So the fact that like in the end Ruby actually does drink it and is literally falling into the tree is like, I can't believe we did it. I can't believe we've gone this far now. And the fact
Wow.
that it could have been worse because there was a Cheshire Cat character
Mm-hmm.
that was not ambiguously neutral.
Wow.
Because guess who he was he voiced by?
Ooh.
Robbie Damon.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And there was like no sign. It was like, okay, maybe he might have some like neutral purposes for like wanting some stuff, but then it just went from 0 to 100 in which he wanted to be a full-on body snatcher.
Wow.
Like legitimately was like scratching into Ruby's chest and being like, let me have your body so I can leave this place.
Too wow. Dark.
Like like literally, and was like insinuating that it was the creator gods of Ruby that left him there to like stew with like this insatiable curiosity to him.
Wow.
And it's like, oh my god, oh my god, if this cat gets out of this wonderland, Remnant has no chances because he could literally manipulate any creature just by taking a part of its essence and injecting it into them.
You
And
know,
he
dark.
and he literally was about to do that to Ruby but Ruby was then technically saved by Neo, and in the lesser two evils, basically drank the poison tea essentially.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just like, oh god, this is like, and after a really good emotional break episode in which like both Ruby and John were basically yelling at each other, lashing each other with like the worst words possible because of all the torment that they've been through.
Hmm.
Just a lot of stuff.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Woo.
But I guess while he's doing whatever in his end, anything you've been up to, Jen? You want to bring up?
Um, nothing really big as of late. Just work picking up. Been working a lot. And just been picking up this. Here's the season for taxes.
Oh, you haven't done your taxes yet?
No. I already did them. I already did
Uh,
them. I already did them. Got the refund and spent it. Had to pay bills. Adulthood, everybody.
hmm. I was just wondering because I know some people wait till like April or so, and it's just like
Oh yeah.
I always go as soon as possible just to get it done, and I swear it gets it processed faster.
I agree. I definitely agree.
But yeah, I guess on my end, yeah, I haven't done much media stuff just because I've been doing a lot of travel and family stuff. Like this weekend was Easter, so and family Easter stuff. And then the week before that, I was like traveling, like a little mini vacation.
You went to like
Checking out,
California or something? Where'd you go?
yeah, like Orange County, which is just say L.A.
LA.
Um, yeah, it's L.A., but it's like Orange County, which is like in the sort of like how Mason is in Cincinnati. It's
Yeah.
Cincinnati, but sort of like more farther out. And yeah, Orange County is just like where like not Knott's Berry Farm, which is the theme park I went to, is, but it's also like in the area where Disneyland is.
Oh, cool.
Which from our flight, that's where I could tell a lot of people were going. The Mickey ears were sort of a giveaway for that.
Oh, makes perfect sense.
But yeah, it was nice. The weather wasn't as warm as I expected because it was about the same level as here because they're going through a little bit of a cold bit.
Hmm.
So it wasn't cold, but it wasn't like there's palm trees about. It doesn't feel like palm tree weather.
Right.
But yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I haven't really been catching up with a lot of media. So, but I have gotten back to playing some more Resident Evil 4 remake, and I
Hmm.
forget how good that. I mean, it's a remake, so it's sort of a new game. But like how good that in the original is.
Oh, amazing.
Then also just catching up with some anime. I've been some like season 2 stuff, which I think today I just finished by the grace of the gods, which is like the third slime anime based thing. Uh,
Oh, we.
but yeah, on our way through all of that, like we had a surprise. I actually don't know if it was a surprise release, but we had the dropping of Lackadaisy anime pilot, which is taking over the YouTube.
Woohoo! Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I mean, don't let the tiredness in my voice fool you. I am actually quite excited because I remember when this was a web comic I would read on DeviantArt, and it was amazing. And it's just I always loved the art. I always loved the art style and just the story of the characters and such. Um,
Wait, you read the comic before?
oh yeah, the comic is over. I want to say over a decade old.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I heard of that duration. I'm like, well, okay, I guess it's like siblings with like slightly damned.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah,
But
that's the
for a long
that's
time.
the issue I have with getting involved with web comics is that well, one of the release schedules is bad.
Yeah.
Even the best ones aren't like consistent. And then two, they just die. Like there's been a few like web comics on Webtoon that actually do get resolutions.
Hmm.
But any of the pure web comics that like have their own website and all that, like none of them end. Like some overwhelming majority of them just sort of like stop at some
Right.
point.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. That's I agree with you. That's the one thing about it. The irregular uploading schedule, and also the story just goes on and on and on, and then at some point you're like, oh my gosh, this would have ended a long time ago.
Okay.
But
What?
Lackadaisy, I didn't actually. That was probably, dare I say, maybe one of the first. Yeah, maybe what I don't know. Maybe I neglect to say first web comics that I actually started got into reading. I think. Um, yeah. So, but the funny thing was is like I never like I would watch the artists on DeviantArt, and I would get an update whenever whenever they posted. The only thing was like it just seemed like the pages whatever they uploaded was so short. But then it made sense because of the way the artist does their characters and their work and everything, which is just absolutely gorgeous.
I'm just right now trying to look over like the comics that I've read. Have
Mm-hmm.
you ever heard of N Town?
End Town, no.
It's a comic series done by Aaron Nadery. I've heard a bit of controversy about it over the years over its contentiousness as it went on from
Mm-hmm.
its simple premise to being a bit more multi-dimensional over the past decade.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around since 2009 actually. And it's still updates even now. Its last recent issue was literally just last week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's really like the cool thing there. But it's like a pretty nice black and white comic that sometimes goes in color, but
Yes.
like it really does invoke like a lot of like old cartoony spiels, of the
Mm-hmm.
20s and such.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is it could be quite fun like going back in time to like see a different art style of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like more modern web comics like Moonlight Brew, which is just like a modern werewolf story because hey, everyone's just craving for an actual werewolf story when we're always blighted with so much vampire stuff or
Oh
zombie stuff.
yeah. Yeah, definitely understandable.
Yeah. Well, it has like a bit of a shorter a lifespan, being only 7 years old, but
Mm-hmm.
still is quite consistent with like its bi-monthly releases of art. And then Skin Deep as well. Like I hear all these good comics, like even like going through like the YouTuber like Media Hunter, like just hearing about all of them and just being exposed to them. That's when I first heard about Lackadaisy itself. So it did not draw my ire to like look at it just because like I wasn't sure I was gonna be for it because 20s gangster flick stuff like that did not seem to like appeal to me at the time, like a few years ago.
But yeah, like because reflecting on, like I said, it's weird, but I think Webtoons actually did bring up like a lot of the comics on there actually do have endings and all that, and I think that might just be part of like well, one, a lot of them are South Korean comics, so they're more used to more like manga style, like regular release, where it's more standard. But also, I think Webtoons as a whole like sort of encourages weekly releases and like significant weekly releases, and I think that sort of keeps the author from sort of getting basically stuck in their own heads. Like because just like because like a story can take ages with a webcomic where it's just doing like one panel like a week. Like I would say that's like a lot of them average, and then like that's like a manga chapter like every year. That's so yeah, that can just sort of like drag things out, and like you can just like I'm not really comfortable with it. Like there's something important I feel like about a story just continuing, and if the pace just gets too slow, it just sort of gets bogged down. Look at One Piece.
One
Uh,
Piece, the 2 decades old series that is looking like to end in only 5 to 10 more years.
well, the
Uh,
author basically made it sound like he wants to end it in like 3 years, but that probably means it's going to be like 10 plus.
yeah. Oh, that does not know when to quit when it comes to world building or setting up too many seats. That keeps on being broken up and succeeding.
Uh, but
But mhm.
yeah, I say we should be heading out now. But you also want to toss in one more thing about the Owl House.
Yes, so the Owl House marks the end of the short stint of Disney animated series that featured a story-driven narrative following like what looked like to be a few slice of life episodes for like its shows and such, starting over with like Gravity Falls. Then it went on to stuff such as like Star Versus, then over to DuckTales 2017, then Amphibia, and then lastly Owl House itself as like the end of sort of like an isekai series that we've been going through and such, of like Disney isekai stories of like, oh, take a girl, take her to another world, see what happens to them instead of the world.
I forget, is the Ghost one, is that Nickelodeon or Disney?
Disney, Ghost and Molly
All right,
McGee, it's Disney.
all right, so that is another one.
Well, no, no, like it's more slice of lifey than it is story driven. Trust me, even with its plot, it's basically like what would happen if the main plot was about Pinkie Pie's positivity. That's how much Ghost and Molly McGee goes for its story and plot.
Yeah,
About
I
how
made
much
sure.
power that
It is
withholds.
more different from the like literally it was Isekai for like several of these, and then I guess reverse Isekai for Gravity Falls. Um,
Oh wait, oh yeah, and also like I mean, Ghost and Molly McGee has probably more in common with Danny Phantom now because of
like
like certain
that's what I
plot
was asking. It was
developments.
Nickelodeon. Was like was that Disney or Nickelodeon?
I'm
Um,
sorry. I'm sorry. I know there's a girl squirrel, and I know the main character does technically half die and become like a half ghost. But still, but still, they're not the
but
same show. They're not the same show.
yeah,
But
I will bring up the end of sort of that era because that actually has my point I wanted to bring up with this Lackadaisy. Um, so we'll come back to that point, but I also want to feel like before we begin, I feel we need to also highlight that the Super Mario movie came out and is apparently doing extremely well. Um,
I've heard its opening box office, and I'm like, well, Mario beats Sonic again. God dang
and
it.
DreamWorks continues to expletive Disney right now. I mean Universal, which is Illumination and DreamWorks. So
Yeah, like I mean, of course, I mean because it's like, well, look at them. They're getting probably like the biggest profit ever. Meanwhile, we have like the big hype of Puss in Boots, but no, they got the rights to Mario, and they're winning because of it. Dang it, we need to get a video game company under our belt now, but we can't do Nintendo. We can't even do Sony. What's left?
oh yeah, speaking of which, yeah, I think Jenna mentioned before my travels like Orange County. Yeah, that's if Universal like Hollywood is farther away from Disneyland, I was very tempted still to pay an Uber a lot just to go and try the Super Nintendo World. Uh, it's
Mm,
it's like it's so tempting, but also a 40-minute Uber. Oof, no.
mm. Oh yeah, and I've also got to say for like the Owl House finale, Like you'll never guess who voice acts in it in the finale. Like a special guest.
Like I said before, I had no idea. Like beforehand, like I have no guess.
And what about you? What about you, Jen? An actual like YouTuber actually voice acts a very important character in the finale. Want to take a guess on which YouTuber? Jen? Oh, I guess she's vanished. Uh, so
I'm hoping she stepped away and hoping she did not fall asleep.
yeah, that would be quite a bit of an oopsie right before the reaction. Well, I guess I could say like aside from that, yeah, it's we're just about to get started with like the whole new Pokemon anime in the next week. Like it's literally gonna be like this coming Friday is gonna be the premiere, and it's like Pokemon's never gonna be the same again. It's just gonna be like we're finally gonna have a female-led protagonist for this. I hope it's not gonna be as repetitive as the old series once it gets into its lulls. And I guess aside from that, Hasbro decided to make a Beyblade Season 8 for the Burst series, by the way. Like, this is not the Japanese doing it, but Hasbro themselves funding for Season 8. And it's kind of clearly evident because they're not doing the whole, hey, look, we're showing like the Taikara Tomy like Beyblades. Instead, we're showing the Hasbro cheap models for the show. And I'm like, wow. So we're gonna continue on with this Beyblade season with the last protagonist right now. It feels weird watching like a anime right now for like kid shows, you know? Like you don't know when suddenly like a capsule monster spinoff just suddenly comes out with like showcasing all the previous protagonists and such. And trying to have like a fun with like a female rival instead. But yeah, that looks like to be like something that might be kind of fun if you have a kid who's into Beyblade. If not, yeah, just ignore it. It's the type of show that I ended up following just because like I was bored one day and decided to like watch the Burst series. Saw its high point, and then I saw like its middling point in like the tag team season. But yeah, that's like what I got from there. Um, guess um so Derek, I'm just sort of like wondering, have you been like seen any new shows or nah?
Like what?
Like let me see. Like I mean right now for like the spring season because I'm feeling a bit less emotive about the spring season of anime. Like the only shows that really seem to pop off is like the continuation of Demon Slayer with its season 3.
Yeah,
Then
well,
we
for me, it's like I'm right now going to be catching up with a lot of the shows from the winter, so it actually works out for me.
Yeah,
Uh,
the winter has a lot of good shows. Especially watch Tales of Outcast, even if there's no dub. It's so good. So good. Like
so I have heard that apparently that we do know at least part of the that Eden Zero has escaped licensing hell. So
oh yeah, oh yeah, I've been watching like the first 2 episodes of it and I'm like, well, I've I've been spoiled on certain things about how the plot of the show gets, and I'm like, I'm afraid. I'm afraid when it does happen.
but
Yeah.
yeah, like I am like I haven't watched it, but like Yeah, Crunchyroll at least has the sub rights. I'm hoping they have the dub rights too a lot. But yeah, seemingly Netflix has abandoned the series, which is unfortunate.
Which is
I mean,
unfortunate.
fortunately, it doesn't mean it's in Netflix jail, but the other time, they actually did assemble a pretty good dub and all that release, so it's like, if that has to be scrapped, that would be bad.
Yeah. I guess aside from that, I'm kind of losing steam on the new Gundam series, Witch of Mercury, because I wasn't really in it for like Yuri baiting, for them to have like the two female leads like hook up. Even with like the plot twist at the end of season one, it's like, yeah, I just hope it actually goes somewhere interesting with like its main heroine, who's basically sort of like a non-entity main character, someone who's just moving on the swings just from their mom's like demands and such. It's like I want to see like how interesting it would be to see like a brainwashed soldier like literally accidentally motivate everyone to follow the same brainwashing she has been through. That would be something. That would be the only thing that would keep me interested in the show. But I guess aside from that, oh yeah, we're finally getting the adaptation for Mashal from Shonen Jump, the Harry Potter wizard anime featuring Mob from Mob Psycho 100 with One Punch Man strength, because that's what Mashal is basically, and I'm really excited for it. Like it already got me hooked with like its emotionally gripping first episode. But yeah, um, and then there's like the new anime that replaces like Ghost Digimon Ghost game like for Toei Sundays by the name of Great Mission, like Race to Escape for Money. Which that looks like to be something that feels like a 70s or 80s shonen anime or slice of life game anime, but with like some hopefully some dark twists that'll be revealed later on about like their society and such. So yeah, like it's not really looking much interesting, but I watched the first episode. I'm not gonna give up on it, but does not really seem to be like much interesting. And then there's like stuff like Kuma Bear Punch getting a season two, and I'm like, I tried it. Yeah, I've kind of lost interest for that isekai. God dang it. I'm not finding interest in
Yeah,
like some of the shows that I've
that's
watched before.
I'm finding that sort of issue with a lot of the series I'm returning for season two. It's like, it feels like the spark is sort of gone, and it's like, I'm just realizing, like, I think some series, like, they're really not supposed to have like a momentum drop like of season two. Some series work. I think actually a lot of the shonen series do it well. Like
Like Mob Psycho or My Hero
uh,
Academia.
Hero Academia, but also like Demon Slayer, like because they break it up pretty well with arcs. But I feel a
Oh
lot of,
God, I forgot Ancient Magus Bride is back for season two. That's how interested I've been. I forgot about Ancient Magus Bride. No, I'm sorry, Derek. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue that show now. So much disappointment now. I mean, at least Doctor Stone, I'm still interested in it, and it's season three. But God dang it, no. Why is everything happening? Why does everything in the seasonal model not work? I'm losing interest.
like I said, I think it's just because like some more slice of life series is like, it just doesn't flow with the momentum. And when you come back, like basically you have to come back, remember all the characters and all that, and there's often can sometimes be a huge gap. So yeah.
Mm.
But I guess with that said, we'll try to stop and move on to hopefully react.
Yeah, let's get it on.
I think gave a weird delay with that. All right, now we're live. Hello, everyone. Just joining us again. We're not sort of skip a day into the react. We're totally that did not happen. But anyway, second and day are not here now.
Hi there, this is Second Opinion, and from a critic first and a fan second, let's lackadaisical it up. We're gonna lackadaisical so hard. Boy, with so much energy and speed.
Extreme.
Boy, I can only run this joke so hard, and half the people listening probably don't even know what lackadaisical means, so...
But actually, I think it is actually really sort of good. We sort of had this slightly. Well, we didn't have this delay. This is totally happening right when we started recording. But when actually the audience we have now is actually a good mix of. I think me and Carlos, I think both have seen this pilot. Jenn has seen the original webcomic, but not the pilot. And then Second and Day have like pretty much no knowledge of either of those.
So that means this entire reaction is completely multifaceted, which makes it all the more appetizing. So if anyone wants to go ahead and watch our specific reaction, make sure to put down the hashtags of blind reaction, never read the comic, and people who already watched the pilot. But
Diversity!
Yeah.
Bada boom.
Does everyone have the episode ready up?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Press.
Lately, actually, as a matter of fact, we've been looking to see Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and all of the things you're supposed to see at this time of year, in this year of the decade.
Oh God!
Oh yeah,
Streaming services are driving us crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the best way is like, yeah, that's one thing I speak that came up back in my light again because like Nostalgia Critic just made like a 30-minute review on like a full-on Nostalgia Critic review of it.
Yeah, like
the thumbnail is in my.
We're talking about
not the Doug Walker opinion review. He already did that. Like this is a full-on like Nostalgia Critic review already.
And it was
he said it was like the best movie of the year, didn't it? Didn't he?
Yeah, he said that, and also his video was basically Oscar busting, and also like a lot of jabs at Avatar for like its blandness, and it's like. Well, yeah, if you don't really have any flaws to pick.
We have all stopped cutting Doug's slack on that one, right? We know he's stroking his I'm totally not biased self with that one.
Oh, he's biased. Come on. He's a critic.
Like he's biased against like the Oscars and such because of like other past controversies.
Yeah, well, honestly, the Oscars deserve a lot of the lumps they take, and some cases really, really deserve it. I genuinely don't think they're the best way to determine which movies are the best in a year anymore and haven't been for a long time. But Doug Walker is basically like South Park, who when South Park pivots like, okay, well, maybe they got that wrong, only gets mad. Like, oh, what, Man Bear Pig is real now because you guys are sorry you got the climate change thing wrong? Well, up yours, you're just inconsistent writing or something, or meh. It's like, dude, you lost. Let it go.
But I guess with that said, are you all ready to watch Lackadaisy?
Yes,
let's
ready.
do it.
Wider, please.
Yeah, let's just like get this done.
All right, everyone press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Here we go.
Okay, start the piano music.
Oh,
well, actually, that bizarrely still fits.
Already, we got something akin to stop motion for like their logo intro. That's pretty nice.
Yes. St. Louis, Missouri, 1927. Prohibition is full effect.
Yeah, that did so much to moralize the U.S., did it not? This guy has a vocabulary.
So far, I like the animation's pretty.
Oh my goodness. I think I know which panel this is. Or is this new?
No, like I read the webcomic after watching this. They use this poem at a different point.
They do. Ooh.
Yeah, this is giving me such great Gatsby vibes. The one of the only books I've retained in my memory from school.
Also, I just like the background. It's so Art Deco, which is
Yes. The 20s dream aesthetic.
yep. Which that's one thing Cincinnati does have a lot of is we have Art Deco
Yep, we do.
and a Hall of Justice.
That's right.
Mm. I forget how long this soliloquy takes. Dang.
They used the poem.
Hmm. Oh, God. Okay. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. I sympathize with that cat the most. Cats don't fall on their feet.
Way to dispel a myth.
Give him this.
I am the bard for this D&D party.
Douche.
Grave robbing. The best thing to do as a casual D&D party.
While poems, poetic grave robbing.
Herman half of hither.
Okay.
Okay, challenging the ghosts. Not a good idea. See, oh, and then that
Poor train.
realistic train noise really could spook the heck out of you. Making reference to what they're really doing here.
Ah.
Mhm.
Uh, and instead of a corpse, you find a gold
Spirits
mine.
bottled up. Ha ha ha.
Yep. Early, like late 20s, like
Yep. Prohibition.
things. Yeah. Put up a poster for like
The
a
only
dead body.
time Canadian whiskey was in high demand.
Yep.
Yeah.
Prohibition.
Yeah.
It was a dark period.
Oh, before the even worse period. Yeah, like seriously. I like watching my Great Depression period pieces. And this is just the era right before it.
Now this is sort of right in, I think, or is 28 happen? When did the
No, it's
stock market crash?
1929.
Uh-oh.
Sure enough. Because
Mhm.
only good things happen when you lose that one thing that you just can't go on without.
And then the mood suddenly shifts.
Okay. Weird mob cat.
Oh God, Cajuns, run!
Why does she remind me of the James Bond villain girl?
Oh, you mean Zenithia Onatop?
Yeah.
Well, that was the last crazy lady villain you saw, but
And then we have Prosy D here. Like, legitimately.
I don't know. Onatop might be tough to top.
Ah.
Like, seriously.
Hmm.
Okay, seem lack of driving education here.
Might want to keep
Compliments.
moving.
Move, 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 move. Why trying to move in the river? That's torturous for them.
That's a teddy bear.
We need to perform the music of chaos. Oh, this music track bops.
You think annoying cat could... Okay, you're not gonna save that, dude. Just...
Mm.
No, he's trying to get the lock on it so they don't just spill them all.
Oh, and then here comes Freckles. Fire in his belly, all
But
right.
yeah, the fact that one of them's leaking, like, you can't do anything about that now.
Oh.
Insanity right here. Really nice car chases.
Yeah, the convolution. Everybody's favorite that you can spray all these bullets at a target that's practically stationary and not kill any of the people in it.
Mordecai!
This guy is a sharpshooter.
There's only Mordecai.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's absolute perfect use of silence here. Oh, so good. It's like he just got a glee from running down that sign.
That's a way to get out of car.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now the part where they lost all their booze or something.
Burn.
Also, one thing I like about the aesthetic choice is it blends realism with like more fantasy aesthetics. Like obviously the characters are all anthropomorphic cats,
Mm-hmm.
but like the vehicles and guns and even the clothes are like very timely.
Mm-hmm. Very.
Like Mouse, a graphic novel. This guy seems to
yeah.
have gone insane.
Mm-hmm.
Very saturated
No, that's
animation.
honestly that's his normal. That's his default move, pretty much.
Honestly, like this like main character of the three cats here, I really did not aside from like him being waxing poetic, like did not find his base personality all that interesting. But then this happened.
Is that why they call it Lackadaisy? Because he always is taking his sweet time.
See, I've never understood why. I don't know why it's called Lackadaisy. Honestly.
And that's just the name of the bar. I love Freckle.
Hmm. Hmm.
These guys be the underdogs here.
Watch out, Freckle. Mordecai coming for you.
Nah. Why am I thinking SWAT cats all of a sudden?
Because it's cats.
Yeah.
1,
Had to
2,
wait.
Mordecai gonna shoot you.
Ugh.
Well, he pushed her a whole 2 feet away. There's
Cartoon logic. Okay. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Ah!
how much does this main character even realize what he's doing?
Mm. I get water. Yep.
Yeah, it could be worse. This is on
Why the
water.
water? Why the water?
And
Did
cats
you
ain't.
ever hear
The
about the
kryptonite
molasses
so
spill?
Don't cats hate water?
Yeah.
Universal truth of this world. Yeah, you earn yourself like a beta protagonist just for that.
Yep.
What gun?
Okay, unhinged Joker type.
Hey, so he just decides not to kill somebody because what's the point?
Because you said, well, Marigold, who's this gal right here, it's like, are you getting sentimental? Now, that's
Maybe.
one thing I don't remember. Oh, Little Daisy Cafe, that's what it is. See, that's the one thing I don't know.
Well, maybe watching the rest of this will jog in memory, hon.
Right.
And then there's this cool cat over here.
Oh, yeah.
I really do feel like a lot of this animation took inspiration from like a Catstone dance. Way that she's moving and such.
Oh, yeah. She looks very much like Sawyer from Catstone Dance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No.
Ugh.
Mhm.
Hmm. Hmm.
I was waiting for them to come around to it, but it looks like we're just in a different story now.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
Different worlds and within the same. This barkeep, it's a certain type of tune.
And you have one of the greatest characters in this thing, Victor.
Hmm. Uh-huh. He's just full on aggression. So you said it, so they delivered. Second. JJ. Oh. Even if it tastes bad, it's still a waste of profits. Good idea, Freckles.
And you went through all that crap just for some bad booze.
It looks like its problem is that it's just way too strong.
Mm-hmm.
Making it worse for our future jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Longevity
It's
is
dead.
definitely terminal. Ah, his livelihood just got destroyed. Oh God, he wish he could fully spend.
That's a good dream to have.
Oh, a dream that will be so far to grasp it.
And keep it playing. There's more at the end.
Mm.
Oh, Seraphine. That's Marigold. Seraphine. That was her name.
Mm.
Malcolm Ray?
Yeah,
Like the guy from Doug Walker's thing?
Is it that same Malcolm?
mm.
I forget there's
Oh,
also some crossover from Hell of a Boss.
Well, no, actually, not from Hell of a Boss. Actually, there's like a voice actor from the original Has Been Hotel pilot. Actually, the voice for Angel does voice
Oh.
the main character cat. Actually, yeah. Like you're saying, like the depictions probably from some Lackadaisy comics. When you have a crazy guy with explosions,
Lackadaisy.
definitely get a
Yep,
riot.
it
there.
is him. You know.
And laughter. Hmm.
Well, okay then.
And that was Lackadaisy.
Yep. Mhm.
Mhm.
Good
All
voice
right,
acting, I gotta
stopping
say.
recording.
Mhm.
Stopping recording to jump into discussion. All right, so what are your all initial thoughts on Lackadaisy?
Well, Jen liked it.
I'm so excited. I am frothing at the mouth for this to be a series. And the fact, oh man, it brought so many memories back. Like I keep saying, like I remember when this was just a strip on a web comic on DeviantArt, and I remember when I would look at DeviantArt and I would watch the artist and whenever they uploaded a strip and reading through the strip, some of the characters' names have like kind of lost track with me. Like I forgot what the female Cajun character's name was, but until I saw the credits, and all of a sudden it clicked again. It was Seraphine, and I just remembered all these characters that I was like reading about. They're wonderfully brought to life, and everybody, all the voice, and kudos to the voice cast. Everybody sounds exactly how you picture they would be, and just the fact they opened it up with this wonderful kind of poetic thing that Rocky does in one of the strips. I mean, I was already squeeing on the inside to tell you the truth. And not just that, but the beautiful, beautiful art. There's the scene where Rocky's going down and you see the bridge and you see those beautiful like Art Deco pieces on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous. And when Gaither was saying like, oh, this is definitely a Great Gatsby kind of feeling, like I was like just chopping a bit. I was like, I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they just really, they did like all the art. Just kudos to everybody who worked on this. It's properly brought to life, and I am frothing at the mouth for this to be a series. And if when this when I'm putting it out there in the universe, when this becomes a series, I will probably be popping off like a dynamite stick.
Mm-hmm.
The next recording thing you'll be hearing of me will be like a continuous loop of me promptly squeeing my head off. That is all.
So are they gonna try to do it basically are they gonna try Hell of a Boss route, or are they gonna try Has Been Hotel route? Like, are they hoping to get picked up by a network?
As of now, especially since they really are pushing a pilot, not trying to like I said, they have no ads and all. They're really trying to push this as a pilot.
Oh.
It seems they're trying to go the Hell of a Boss route and like have someone pick it up.
Thank goodness no ads. Oh, thank goodness no ads. I'm
Wait.
so happy.
Don't you mean the Has Been Hotel route? I mean, Hell of a Boss.
Oh yeah, it has
route
been a hotel route.
You're confusing the one that's constantly updated with the one that we're just getting slim pickings until this summer.
Yeah, this is honestly what has me a little concerned about the series. Well, to be frank, I really love this pilot. Like, this is a very unique and I love the pilot. It had this very, like, adult, like, tone, but, like, it wasn't too mature, like Hello Boss or even Has Been Hotel, but, like, it wasn't a kid's thing. It felt like a Western shonen anime sort of, like, thing, which I love the aesthetic, but also at the same time, they are trying to use this as a pilot to pitch, makes it a very, very hard sell. Because the series, even though they cut down the violence from the comic a little bit, because in the comic strip we see people dead. There's no people not like there's a lot of missed shooting, but no people die in the comic.
Okay.
Yeah, in other words, cats
But-
die in the comments.
All right. I mean, even
But
though
but
it would be
they
hard to-
toned that down at least for this pilot. But the one thing they can't sort of escape toning down is the alcohol use, and like it's like the central sort of theme of this thing, which will make it hard to sort of sell this to like a lot of more kid focused like Western like streaming platforms and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we're more restrict on that. Like we don't really want to have alcohol shown, or at least not often, unless it's like an adult cartoon and stuff like that, which I feel might hurt its ability to just market, because it's not like mature enough where it's like a adult cartoon, sort of like Hell of a Boss is. Like Hell of a Boss is going independent, but someone could pick that up easily just because it's like, oh, it's like adult cartoon sort of thing. Like it doesn't matter if there's death, blood, and all that. It's like that's what it's aiming for, but this one's sort of in between, which I feel might be a harder sell unless they go independent too. But as of now, they're not going. But it seems they are trying to use this as a pilot to pitch this to like some networks, which if this was 2020, they might got picked up relatively quick, but since all the streaming platforms are currently sort of liquidating a whole bunch of employees, pitching them in general on top of that is hard right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think like 2/3 of Netflix's animated projects were canceled. So the chances of them like picking up something like that is slim right now out of house. So yeah, that's the one thing that has me concerned is like I really love this series and hope someone would pick it up. Like I just don't know if any network or streamer would really pick it up.
I mean, like right now, I mean, aside from like hoping maybe A3 picks it up if like Has-Been Hotel turns out to be successful. I mean, the only ones I could see if money comes in around more availably might be the Adult Swim part of Cartoon Network. Even then, even when they cut out certain shows already, but still, it's kind of like the only one I could think right now off the top of my head that's like a slim picking.
Yeah, because like tone-wise, this would fit what Amazon does, because Amazon actually is not afraid to do actually some more mature, but not necessarily like adult comedy cartoons. But like they don't really, they're not a company that really that picks up independent works. And if Crunchyroll wasn't sort of if basically Crunchyroll actually what's that whatever show that failed horribly for them?
Oh, you mean like the Steven Universe ripoff, like a Witch Academia spinoff?
Yeah, that show, like I forget its name, but like if that show hadn't failed so
High
horribly,
Guardian Spice.
If High Guardian Spice wouldn't have failed so spectacularly, this is the sort of anime project I actually could see them picking up, but I don't see them picking up any Western cartoon like again for a long time.
I mean,
which is unfortunate because like I said, this very much is tone wise like a shonen anime. Like shonen anime have like some violence, like they'll show some blood, some people getting killed, but not like graphically too much. But also they're okay with alcohol use and like the shonen level anime. So it's like, yeah, this would be a perfect fit for something like does a lot of shonen anime, like Crunchyroll.
I mean,
but,
like then again, Crunchyroll recently did get the broadcasting rights to Ruby. There could be a chance, but that's really all it is. It's a chance.
that's the thing. Biggest issue I have is like, again, I feel if they would have from the get-go sort of aimed to be more like Hell of a Boss and how they originally were sort of going with Has-Been Hotel, that one actually has been picked up. But I feel going for more like a YouTube or like even Patreon focused thing might have been a better fit. Like a Patreon, or even like if they're going out, I feel they could probably have kickstarted a movie like length one if they would have gone with Kickstarter. But now, like that's one thing I hate about it. If they are trying to pitch this as a pilot, well, that means they're going to be pitching it for a while and not really trying to go independent. So, well, the long story short is like, even if everything goes well, like we probably won't get any sort of update on this from the pilot for like 2 years or more. It was like, I really hate that because again, I love this pilot. It's just so charming and unique, and like it's just, I do love it. And I was like, yeah, this sort of made me in the mood for like a prohibition like animated show, because there's actually some anime that do this well, which I really. It's actually like the hit rate for anime they're setting it American Prohibition era is actually a pretty good hit rate. In terms of like hits versus like flops, like most of them I would say actually are pretty good or decent. But yeah, that's what I said. Is like I really like this show. Like that's the only issue. The biggest issue is like I'm concerned with how they're going to basically pitch this, because like it's not a full adult comedy or adult focus thing like Hazbin Hotel and especially Hell of a Boss was, which those are easier to pitch to like shows, places that are doing adult cartoons. But this sort of that's in between is might face harder competition unless they're like independently fun in the same way the Hell of a Boss is.
I liked it too. I think the animation was great. The story was a little weird, but
Animation
nice.
was saturated, and like that was pretty to look at. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's such a thing any which way as an easy, independent, pilot project. I mean, Hazbin Hotel is one of the most acclaimed examples I think I've ever seen, and it's 4 years later we're seeing the results of that picked up as a TV show. I guess it's not an easy path regardless. I will say that, like, if nothing else in this modern age, I have more faith in our ability to not, or I guess studios' abilities to not judge based on formula. Like, we've seen a lot of stuff done with premises and whatnot that we really didn't think could be so long ago. I mean, what we're getting franchise revivals 30 years on. They're like, oh, yesterday's news. Nobody, like, you can't revive something just because people liked it yesteryear. Oh, can't you? And we're getting what I think we're seeing the beginning of like animated films and stuff for adults starting to come into their own. I mean, I'm seeing animation on the whole get like more daring beyond, I mean, that is beyond the level of hey, like we can just make a really good kids animated movie if we're going to make an animated movie anyway. I think we're starting to see more experimental than that, but I don't know if it's caught on a level where it's necessarily hit its stride yet. I mean, I guess I'm speaking in abstractions, I know, but yeah, my point being that I think if an interest in general is demonstrated to be there, then it's probably going to go somewhere. What's it at? 6.3 million views. That's in 2 weeks. That's pretty damn good. I guess we'll see how much of a start when the dust settles that's considered to be. But and aside, I genuinely don't know. I mean, I think like independent projects are just always the same in my mind on some level. Like there's so much that the team has to hold together and heck to even get it off the ground, to even make it happen, let alone to from the business angle to keep that moving along, to hold the project together long enough to have any kind of self-sustaining momentum. So I don't know, I guess my attitude always ends up being like, I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. Hang in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel something will be done with this, but I just feel nothing will done immediately, and I'm just not sure like if they want to basically. I I just hope they're not putting all their eggs in a basket for like trying to just to be picked up, because like this ain't 2020 where like it's middle of the pandemic and like all the streamers are trying to pick up any content they can. Yeah, this was pitched like 3 years ago during that, and yeah, they would have been picked up. Like, I have no question.
Wait. So you saying like a has-been hotel literally was broadcasting at the perfect time for that sort of thing, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Like right into the early part of the pandemic, like a lot of shows were greenlit, like, and just because like animation was considered like being good or a streaming platform, like Netflix at least had some success. And then after pandemic cooled down some demand and basically the bubble started to burst into streaming platforms, yeah, they cut a lot of budget. Animation was one of the first to go, because animation is not the most expensive thing. It's actually cheaper than like good like cinematic like TV shows like a Game of Thrones or Witcher series. Animation is cheaper than that, but it's not cheaper than live action like reality TV style programs or documentaries.
Hmm.
So yeah, like Netflix had like I 2/3 not being an exaggeration, but like at least I would say around half of their animated projects were just canned. Um, so it's like, yeah, if this show was pitched then, like, yeah, wouldn't be surprised it gets picked up by someone or even. But yeah, it's a lot harder, tighter market. Everyone's tightening their purses, and for them to try to like get an outside third party to like an independent, like in their eyes, like amateur product to, yeah, the odds are not good. The only hope is, on honestly say, their best bet is actually if the Has Been Hotel actually does do very successful for I forget who's the distributor of that. It's like one weird one that we never really heard of until Has Been Hotel. But if that actually is successful for them, I could definitely see them picking this up.
Mm-hmm. And then they'll just be called like the fundraiser for like all the web comic adaptations. And that'll be a good reputation to have.
But yeah, like that's the other thing is like, yeah, so there not won't be a while, because like that's one thing is like, yeah, we haven't heard anything from Hell of a Boss in a while. I mean, and it has been Hotel in a while, but we've had Hell of a Boss as the in between thing,
Mm-hmm.
which is a separate product, but it's still in the same universe and sort of the same crew. So,
Which I'm almost wondering if, like, I mean, I hope that nothing ends up self-defeating in that mix, because there's a possibility that Hell of a Boss has worked its way up to the point where, yeah, like, you're holding on to all that creative energy and, yeah, you have an outlet to unleash it on, even if it wasn't the first thing you have in mind. I hope we haven't incidentally reached the point where Hell of a Boss has already surpassed its predecessor on any level it's going to reach.
honestly, I think it has. Like, that's just because I think it was a side project, but it's just one that's just more naturally sellable, which is ironic because it's the one that wasn't actually picked up by platform. But like it's just like a natural, like this is when you say like an adult comedy, this is something like you would sort of expect on Adult Swim back in the day, like not their crap, like, but like something that would be put alongside like what's it, Venture Brothers. Like this is like Hello Boss is a very Venture Brothers like feel, and like that's sort of the show, like sort of adult like comedy, but also like still an action thing. So like Hello Boss, I feel is just an easier pitch than like Has Been Hotel, which is supposed to be more emotional and like it's more deeper, I would say, but like that sort of makes it a harder pitch. It's more of an artsy project than Hell of a Boss.
Makes perfect. Makes perfect. You think Lackadaisy is more artistic? Did you say?
I would say Lackadaisy is sort of in between Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss. Hell of a Boss is like I said, that's a straight up something that would have been on Adult Swim back in the day. And then, like I said, this show is like this is more like I feel more widescreen like action. I mean, it's more mainstream product than like Has Been Hotel. Yeah, that was the right one. It makes it worse that they both Hazbin Hotel and Hello Boss both start with H. So like yeah, it's easy to mentally mix those up. But yeah, that's why I said this one's not as uphill battle of Hazbin Hotel, but at the same time, like I said, it's sort of like in between, which sort of makes it a hard pitch. Like if this was a YouTube thing, like yeah, this is a YouTube independent like funded thing like that has that Hell of a Boss is, yeah, this could be pretty successful, no doubt. But again, that's the one thing that worries me is they seem to be focused on pitching it as a pilot series to sort of go for, which it's a hard fit right now. So if they are going to focus on that, it might not mean any sort of follow up for a while, where it is actually picked up, or they decide to go independent after the fact. And let me see. I had one other thing I would say with that. And also, yeah, with the webcomic, because I actually read the webcomic after seeing this, and the webcomic isn't, well, one, it's not going on anymore. It's just sort of on long-term hiatus. Like I brought this up in a pre-chat before. Like, yeah, that's one thing I hate about like webcomics is most just sort of stop at some point, and that sort of is what happened with Lackadaisy. But like in Lackadaisy is also just sort of like there's you can go and read the webcomic, but the webcomic is sort of like an adjacent thing to this. It's sort of like it's sort of a prequel to this pilot, but it's like this sort of its own. It's like I said, the pilot borrows things from the comic, but in different order. So it's different thing, but it's sort of a prequel. This is sort of like timeline wise is more like after the comic ended. Mostly. Like I said, it's definitely where they're changing up their timeline a little bit. But that's if you want to go like read more background stuff, it's more like that's more of a prequel to the pilot.
Oh crap!
I will say, compared to Hell of a Boss or Has Been Hotel, on one hand, this did feel like it came out of the gate a lot more fully formed. I think I've mentioned that neither pilot, like Hell of a Boss, grabbed me the more of the two, and I think the reason for that was just because it was shorter. It was able to make its point in a better pace, more appreciable length of time, and get your jokes across, not like make you force you to come to it quite so much. But even so, it's like both of them, I almost get more of them out of them now going back to them, like seeing how the show and these creators felt about these characters below the surface as they're having them do these sort of introductory things, and maybe not pick up on nuances I didn't before. But like Hello Boss, like the pilot still feels relatively dry for me. The Has Been pilot feels like it starts 3 times before it actually starts, and it's actually recently I had to learn a whole new look for it. But no, this feels like fully formed, ready to go right out of the gate with its saturated animation. It has a very distinct sense of place coming out of everything. It's not cutting all over the place. These saturated Prohibition era streets, these graveyards that they're digging in off to the side, these quiet streets they're in to stay out of sight, and the same ones that you explore bit by bit, like it sticks you right in it and has you pretty much invested in what everyone's doing right out of the gate. It's easy to follow. It's easy, what was I gonna, like if I asked you, okay, what's Hell of a Boss gonna be about from now on after the pilot, you'd probably say like, okay, I guess they're gonna go kill some people, and that's going to lead to a lot of shenanigans. And the Has Been pilot, only because certainly explored it in extensive detail. So I don't know about
I mean,
that, but
just to
it's
sort
like,
of,
but even that, it's like, okay, they're gonna try to rehabilitate people, and question mark on how it's gonna work with this radio demon getting in charge, and I guess Charlie is gonna try to have a relationship with her girlfriend as they strain and strive to make this happen. Okay, they're going to the three screw ups are going to continue to try to keep their Prohibition era club afloat. Their higher ups, this, I guess, mom, presumably, and some such, they're going to try not to lose all hope for them. And there's going to be a rivalry with with this better gang, basically, that's going to start bearing down on them. And it's, yeah, already before we even see with the next one, like the pressure's going to get hot. It's going to be a competition. Everyone's going to have clearly defined goals, and you can more or less imagine how they're going to go about it. That said, like, I just said how Hell of a Boss and Has Been Hotel had a little bit of a hill to climb. With those in mind, in my opinion, they've climbed it. Like Hell of a Boss certainly has, and even it almost climbed it for both of them. Like understanding how, this team operates. Like, okay, we know the kind of heart they're going to try to show. We know the kind of passion they can have for their characters and how it's going to have just like a have your cake and eat it too case of like really edgy and like hilariously shameless humor that's still not gonna take the heart off the table. So like, I mean, it grips you. Lackadaisy does still kind of have to do the work there. Like I, at this point in time, I don't know if I particularly care if I ever see this theatrical main character ever do anything again besides go insane and blow stuff up, because that was pretty funny. His two partners in crime, I guess, like, you got some sense of them, how they're practically kids, at least in mind if not body, but they're scrappy in game and they care for each other and stuff, and like, that's all well and good, but I mean, I don't know them well and truly, that like in a way that's makes me want to see if they're gonna be okay. So I would say that, for as much as it comes out of the gate like, wow, I'm into this story and I could hear more about it, like whether this is a show that like, okay, I'm gonna feel some kind of personal connection to and stick with through the thick and the thin. I don't know if it's there yet. It kind of has that hill to climb itself, I would say.
yeah, just to go back where you said, oh, this felt more focused than like Hell of a Boss or Has Been Hotel. That's one thing I will say. Like, if you do go look up the webcomic, like I said, the webcomic is more of a straightforward story and sort of could be described as like episodes 2 or 3 before this, in terms of like what story has progressed and all that. So it's much more of a linear story compared to Has Been Hotel, which was a spin-off of a webcomic that just sort of the author even admitted, like, I don't know where to go with this. Which unfortunately, I wish it actually was updated. But yeah, like that's one where it's like, that was a spin-off of a spin-off that got its own spin-off. That's why those don't really necessarily have a straightforward plot that's going for it. Like this one is more of its source material is much more linear. Which is like, that's why it feels like it's more focused from the get-go.
Yeah. That would make sense.
I've said my piece, so I'm starting to drift off, so I actually must say goodnight to everybody.
Night night, Jen.
Good night, Jen.
Yeah, good night. I need to be heading out soon myself, so I guess any other final thought? Well, I guess you already left. I guess any other final thoughts before we head off?
If Hell of a Boss can make it, this can make it, I feel.
Hey.
Yep, hopefully it will in some way. The biggest issue, though, like I said, is just going to be the weight.
Yep. I mean, yeah, I guess I said what I intended to say, but if this becomes something new we react to every week, I'll be looking forward to it.
Mhm.
And there you
Well,
have
I
it.
guess with that said, I guess see y'all next time for probably not react, but something.
Indeed. We'll be back for something. Count on it.